Most people with tennis elbow do the right types of exercises, but just with fuck all load. In this video, I'm gonna show you why that keeps you stuck and the 3 exercises that finally let me load my grip and forearms hard enough to actually adapt. If you've been doing daily band exercises and 2 kilogram wrist curls with nothing to show for it, it's because you're not giving your forearm any reason to get stronger. But I get it. A lot of these exercises that we do to challenge our grip and forearms, they're a bit awkward. They're hard to progressively overload. So here's 3 variations that I've used to help me get good loading through my wrist, elbow, and forearm muscles that are progressible. I can continue to use and get stronger over a long period of time. And the best part is, you can do these with minimal or no equipment, or even just general items laying around your house. The first exercise is wrist pronation and supinations. Now, I see people completely butcher these by using dumbbells. It's not the worst thing in the world, it's just fucking awkward. If you're holding it by the handle, you've got the weight either side, which sort of just balances each other out and doesn't really do the job it's intended to do. Or you might grab it by the head of the dumbbell so you can get a bit of distance between the load and the axis of rotation, which is your wrist. And it's just really awkward to grip once you start to increase the weight. You're sort of limited by the size of your hand and the general discomfort of it all. The best solution I've found is to get the central pole out of a sled. I put a couple of clips on there and that helps me progressively load it. Now, you might not have access to a sled in your gym, and that's totally fine, because you can use just general tools that will be lying around your home, like a broomstick, a mallet, or even a standard hammer. Now, yes, it's hard to put weight plates and clips on there and actually progressively load it, but don't underestimate the value of manual loading. We don't always need these quantifiable objective loads. Your body only understands tension. One way to know you're getting enough tension through the muscle is getting within a few reps of failure. If you apply some manual resistance or hold the hammer or broomstick further away from the end, you'll increase the length of the lever. So then you'll be able to train harder and within closer proximity to failure than you would your banded wrist curls or your dumbbell pronations. Just start with the minimum effective dose. 1 hard set to failure, once a week, see how you respond, build from there. The second exercise is closed and first knuckle push-ups. One of my biggest gripes with dumbbell and TheraBand forearm work is it doesn't really get good length through the forearm, which is what tendons actually respond really well to. These exercises solve that problem. If it's too painful to work through that full range of motion, just try and find a starting point that feels tolerable, and it might just be some holds. If it's too intense from the floor, you can just go to an incline variation. Same thing, start with the minimum effective dose. That'd be 1 set, once a week, progress from there. Thirdly is some sort of explosive variation. My bias is a plyometric push-up. One thing a lot of people neglect with these type of exercises is they just move heavy and slow, but tendons behave and adapt differently depending on the speed that the load is applied. So we need to explore some faster velocity work too. Now, I love these band assisted plyo push-ups. If they're too tough, you can do some assisted drop catches where we're starting up in that plank, almost dropping and removing our hands, then catching again nice and low. Keep the intent nice and high, minimize fatigue. 1 to 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps will be plenty for now, once a week. Right, structure. You've got your 3 exercises. How are we gonna boil it all together throughout the week? Well, I wouldn't recommend doing these all in one session, nor would I recommend doing them daily. Again, you'd be surprised with how much progress you can make with such little work. Start with 1 to 2 exercise variations once a week. I'd start with the 2 strength-based ones, your pronations and supinations, and your first and closed knuckle push-ups. I'd separate them by at least 3 days. So on Monday, you can do your pronations and supinations, and then on Thursday, you can do some first and closed knuckle push-ups. Start with the minimum effective dose, just 1 set of each. For your first time doing them, just go gentle. We want to build to an intensity that essentially takes us to failure, but for a new movement in new ranges of motion, I'd recommend just going slow and gentle. Now, these act as a great warm-up for upper body training, so you can just do them at the start of a workout. But please be aware, pain is so much deeper and multifaceted than just doing 3 exercises to cure it all. We need to look at how the whole internal system is behaving. So that's things like your sleep, your general stress management, nutrition, and what other activities you're doing throughout the week in your training program as well. Sometimes we just need to identify and remove the provocateur for a period of time. If you play tennis and that's really pissing it off, it doesn't mean you have to stop entirely, but can we just reduce the amount of days per week you're playing? Can we reduce the intensity? Are there particular shots that piss off your elbow? If so, could we deload serving for a period of time if that's provoking it? But again, ultimately, when we remove all the bullshit, there's only 2 paths that you can take. We can either reduce stress, let things return to baseline, let things settle down, or we can rebuild, which involves adding stress to the system, adding load, and training at the edge of your capacity. If you found this helpful, I actually have an entire program of about 30 different exercises designed to help you build resilience in the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. It's called Built to Swing. It'll help you deal with the rigors of your life and sport. It costs £20, which is an absolute bargain for elbows that won't fall apart during sport and life.